What's up? It's Eli Knight with Knight Jiu-Jitsu and with Apps Your Fight Focus. I was blessed to have a very special guest today, Chewy from Chewjitsu. If you're not following him already, I don't know what you're doing on YouTube watching my videos and you're not following this guy. But anyway, we were talking about some different techniques, and something that was really interesting that he had a good take on are some wall techniques. The wall is kind of a cool hybrid, I feel like, between the ground and freestanding. So he had a couple of cool techniques he's going to show us.
Cool. So for you guys that watch Eli's channel, obviously he covers a lot of basically showing how jiu-jitsu works in a fight situation. So when we were kind of talking about exchanging techniques, we were like, you know, let me talk about fighting, since that's kind of one of the things that you do. So one of the things that I show a lot of my young fighters that come in, you can use this both in a fight situation for mixed martial arts, and you can also use it in a situation if it was, you know, if you were doing a hand-to-hand fight with someone and you had a wall, you could use it for the same thing. So the basic thing is that when we get the person to the wall can be used as a great tool to get the takedown, right? And again, this can be to get a takedown, to take them down in an MMA fight and, you know, do more damage or finish the fight with a submission, or to take the person down and get the hell out of there, right? Either way. So from the situation, we get in. The big thing that I want to do first off is I want to limit his movement side to side. If I get in here, you'll see this a lot of times in MMA, right? Where guys will get in and they'll lean and boom, they get turned off to the side because they're not basically splitting the legs. And it's a big cue that you split the legs over and over and over again. Now, I'm going to split the legs. I'm going to be taking my shoulder with my lead leg, my lead shoulder. I'm going to be placing it in the solar plexus. And again, it's super important. We want to, right here, the rib cage tapers down. There's a nice little soft spot. I typically call it the sweet spot because you can put a lot of pressure in there and you can just make the person, it makes it harder for them to breathe, and you can kind of suck the life out of them just a little bit. So from here, I'm going to step forward very far to get this split the legs, and I'm going to lower my shoulder to put pressure. Now, my back foot is not just here, it's active to the point where I can take my lead foot off and I'm still applying pressure. Now, from here, I want to make sure that he does not have an underhook, because if I try to get down, it's going to be very difficult. So a lot of times in my approach, I might throw a punch, boom, come in, bang, right into this position. My head is up very high into his armpit to stop the guillotine choke. Now, here's what we're looking for. Wide or narrow in the legs. If he goes wide, I'm going to step out on the side. Again, my arm's going over top. On the opposite side of my head, step over the leg, and I want to snatch the leg up really quickly. My legs are going to come together. I'm going to grab behind the knee and the ankle at the same time. Bang. And then from here, I'm going to snatch the leg away from the wall and drive the hip down to the mat. Okay, so when you're doing that, you're basically driving in. They go wide, step, snap down as quickly as possible. That'll snap the person down. It's literally, you're just taking the foot out from under him. Now, again, if we get inside this time, maybe he's not going very wide, okay? He's kind of keeping his legs a little bit narrow. Sometimes the guys will grab for guillotines or try to go for different stuff. From here, I can easily pull the knees out from here for a double leg. Or again, if I need to, I can lift here, and then we can go for the big dump finish, right? So look at those again, just time from the other side. So again, we get inside, big thing first, big steps with the legs, put our shoulder into the solar plexus, head is up. Again, it's very hard to guillotine someone if your head's up opposed to looking down. We're inside nice and tight, driving off this back leg. Legs go wide, step, bang, pull the leg off right there for the single. If that doesn't work, or maybe he's a little bit more narrow, we can literally just back up, pull the legs. You can start to fight from there or immediately get out of the situation. Again, we learn how to use jiu-jitsu, learn body control, learn takedowns, things like that for, you know, sport aspects, right? And you can also use them in a fight, whether it be inside of a sport sort of situation like a MMA fight, or a self-defense situation where maybe you just want to get out of the situation. And if you give, and I say this all the time, if you watch, everybody's got a phone now. So like, you know, if you see people get into an altercation, one person gets a big takedown, boom, on concrete or a hard surface, that's it. The person typically doesn't have much left in them. So
yeah, I love talking about self-defense, and but with something with like transferability of skills. I mean, because like this is obviously something that you're going to run into a wall in a lot of different situations.
They're everywhere, right?
Yeah, everywhere. So using those environmental kind of factors like that is really a good idea. Like just having that awareness and that body awareness and everything, and having those skills already, you can transplant it to that new environment, and you don't have to create all of these new contexts and go through all these different role-playing kind of things all the time.
Sure. So. Well, and I think, you know, one of the things also about it, you know, just the wall itself, is if you're an okay wrestler, like, okay, here's a great example. If you're in a fight on the street, you're not gonna like take this, drop this level and shoot and like bang your knee on concrete, right? Both of those takedowns, they're both from the feet, right? And so that's one thing. Another positive thing is I've found that, you know, sometimes a guy can be an okay wrestler, but he can become an even better wrestler on the wall. And we've seen this in the UFC where you see guys where they're wall fighters. That's their whole thing, is to get the guy to the ring. And sometimes I've seen guys where they're up against a better wrestler, better like grappler, but because they know how to use the wall a little bit more efficiently, or they just know how to use it, they're able to get the takedowns.
That was even kind of a criteria for the judging at one point, right? Like octagon control. That's a factor of it. It's like how do you use the cage side.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming down, brother. It's great to collaborate with you, man. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you watching Night Jiu-Jitsu. If you're not watching Chewjitsu, then go over there right now, subscribe to that, like it, share all his stuff. It's awesome stuff. He's always got great videos on there. I appreciate him coming down. Keep watching Night Jiu-Jitsu and Aperture, guys.